Welcome to the Chamber Vibes podcast with your host, Brittany Timmons, the Greater Guthrie Chamber of Commerce CEO and President. In this podcast, you will hear from local guests who will discuss topics such as leadership, small business, and our vibrant community. You'll also hear success stories and tips from amazing local businesses, dive into important news, meet community leaders, and find out how you can get involved in our community. From the Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful and historic downtown Guthrie, America, here is Brittany Timmons.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Chamber Vibes. I've got not one, but two friends here today for this episode. And so I've got my friends Phil Nichols and Dave Evans. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Brittany.
Right. And here you wear many hats. So, yes. So today we're going to talk about those hats.
Chris is disappointed. She said, now everybody's going to know what I do.
That's true.
Yeah,
we're gonna. This is what Chamber Vibes is about. Is to tell the stories.
24 years. It's been a secret around here.
You've been hiding it well, Phil. We've been here 2 years and haven't gotten out. That's pretty good.
I know. Now it's time. No. So truly, I enjoy doing this show for many reasons, but I always learn something new.
Yeah.
Every single episode. Yeah. So I'm sure, even though I think I know the things, I probably don't know the things.
Yeah. Dave's got an incredible backstory. I mean, he truly does. His history, I'll let him share that. But yeah, really cool stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just dive in. What do you do? Which one do you want to talk about first?
Which one do you want to talk about, Dave?
Let's step consulting into the other stuff because it kind of all goes together. And really, the other one came from that because our customers asked us to do that for them.
That's true. Carrot, go on.
So
you're doing good.
Phil and I had the pleasure of meeting about 8 years ago at a little restaurant. And we decided to merge our consulting firms together so we could help small businesses grow because we both have this passion for America.
Yeah.
And we know the foundation.
Veteran-owned business.
Yes, it is. And the foundation of America is small business. And the only way we can serve our country now, because we're old and decrepit and broken. Beat up from years of...
They said it, not me.
Years of playing in places we shouldn't have been playing. Yeah. We can help small businesses grow, which helps our economy.
Yeah, and the name of the business is?
Exsin.
We don't have our title on there.
Yeah, Exsin, which is, Exsin's our business consulting firm, management consulting firm, and then the Black Oak Alliance is our financial services firm.
So where'd the name come from?
Which
Exsin.
one? Dave, go ahead. This is a story.
So we're talking
I don't know the answer to this.
This is a good
one.
When
we were talking about it, we said, what do we like? And we looked at the Air Force core values, which are service, excellence, and integrity. We put them together into EXSIN, so excellence, integrity, and service.
I love that. Yeah. See, I said I learned something new every time. Never knew that.
Yep. And then Black Oak Alliance is our financial firm where we do a lot of wills, trust. We have a network of estate planning firms and attorneys around the country that we're able to help people do their estate planning. And that's also where we hold all of our insurance agencies and contracts and different things that we have there, whether it's the employee benefits side, the commercial property and casualty side, life insurance, annuities, disability insurance, all the stuff that touches business owners and their employees.
So Exsin 8 years, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so Black Oak Alliance, fairly new?
Yeah, Black Oak, been in the insurance business for over 30 years, but Black Oak came out of one of our good clients, the Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association, approached us and said, hey, we've done a lot of work with the OCA, Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association, over the last, 5 years, Dave? Yeah. And said, we want to talk to you guys. They knew about our background in insurance because we've done trust, but it was more selective, right? Before like our clients that needed that help, we'd provide those services and help them take care of it.
Kind of go out on a limb there for those to help those services, and now we have established.
Yeah, I mean,
doing it a little more.
Yeah, I mean,
regularly.
It was established. No, we were doing it very regularly,
okay.
but it was.
Okay.
I think we decided to take it to the public.
To the public. There.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's something that we've, I showed Dave this morning. I found my old course material for 20-some years ago when I got my designation as a certified estate advisor.
So something you've been passionate about for a long time.
Yeah, I've been involved in probably 300-400 estate plans in my career. So a lot of estate plans. So it's something we know very well.
That's super important.
Yeah,
you and I talked about it personally the other day.
Yeah, it's very important. But I think, for us, when the OCA came to us and asked us about doing this and providing these services to the membership, which Oklahoma Cattlemen's is a 5,000 member membership organization in the state of Oklahoma, a very influential organization in the state of Oklahoma. Dave and I sat down and said, maybe this is something we're going to be doing all this work anyway. Let's go ahead and open it up to the world and see what happens. It's been very well received. We've been very busy, probably busier than either one of us like to be some days, but
sometimes that's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, but it's been good. And, it is something we're passionate about. Dave's got, personal experiences. Unfortunately, Dave lost his father when he was very young and got to see what.
Kind of opened your eyes unexpectedly.
I grew up really fast.
Got to see what not having a properly executed estate plan that's not monitored and done correctly, what it can do to a family business.
Right.
And so, he's very passionate about that. It's an important thing. And I think people hear the words estate plan and they think that's just for wealthy people, and it's not.
It's not, right.
I mean, if you want to keep your business private business private, and you own a home or you own anything of value over basically $250,000 in the state of Oklahoma, then you need a living trust or your stuff's going to go through probate.
Right.
People have this misunderstanding that a simple will keep you out of probate, and it's not true.
Right.
And
or people think that you don't need a will until you get older.
Yeah, I mean, if you have small children, you need a will.
You need will, right.
If God forbid, couples travel, if there was an accident and both parents were taken away from the babies and you don't have a will, the state of Oklahoma, as they like to say, has one for you. And they're going to dictate what's going to happen to your kiddos, what's going to happen to your estate. It's not a good thing. So,
right. I just think people, when they get married, young or start life, in their 20s, they just don't think about that. And I kind of have an experience with that as far as I worked for an attorney for several years.
Yeah.
And
who died
we worked for on wrongful death cases. And so I remember two parents, they got in a wreck and little kids in the back. The parents did not make it and the little kids did, and it was a mess because they were 29 and 30 years old. They probably thought they had their whole lives ahead of them and didn't have a plan. And so,
well, that's the other thing too.
I learned then just how important, but now there's even more things that I've learned that.
That's what's an important thing too to understand. When you do your estate plan, that's the beginning. Things in life change, and you're going to need to make adjustments. You might start with a living trust, and if you have a lot of financial success, your needs could go into a more sophisticated trust or something that's needed for financial type planning, and so you got to really understand where you're at in life and know which financial instrument's going to help you the most.
Right.
It's very important also, notice that the first thing I talked about was our network of estate planning firms and attorneys. Dave and I are not attorneys.
Nope.
Hence, we do not do the trust work because that would be illegal.
Right.
Not to mention
no JD behind your name.
Not to mention extremely stupid to have somebody that's not an attorney do an estate plan. But yeah, it's exciting work. It's fun and it's meaningful work.
Absolutely.
Much like the stuff we do with Exsin. Helping small business owners improve the value of their businesses. Not just the bottom line, but the real value. Make them better places for their employees to work. That's satisfying work.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Exsin. Like, if I'm a business owner and I come to you, like, what services, where would we begin? Because I know you all help, the single, entrepreneurs all the way to large corporations.
Yeah. I think the first thing starts with the discovery and what you're paying.
Yep.
What's your problem you're dealing with right now that you need help with, right? Because every business is different.
Sure.
So we first go through the discovery process and we offer solutions to solve that pain, whatever it may be, whether it's a sales problem, a marketing problem, a people problem, a succession planning problem. All those things come into the discovery part, so we know what we're stepping into. The second thing is we want to see if we're a good fit. The first meeting is, it's no charge for the first meeting. It's a no cost visit because we want to see if we fit, and we don't really do long-term contracts with clients. It's month to month. We don't expect
it can be
anything.
like a one-time, I need help with this, problem solve going on, or it can be a continual relationship.
Based on the needs of the business owner.
Okay.
Well, and we made a decision, Dave and I did, when we first formed Exsin a little over 8 years ago, that we weren't going to contractually hold people hostage into a relationship if they didn't want to be there. We're business consultants. We know the importance of contracts, but we also understand that in this business, if there's not a relationship there, it's not going to work. right? So, we do project work, do a lot of retained work where people pay us a retainer, and they have us 24/7, 7 days a week. If something pops off, and we've dealt with employees killed at workplaces through tragic accidents, we've dealt with horrible injuries, we've dealt with infidelity, we've dealt with theft, there's not too much we haven't dealt with in our career as far as seeing and having to try to help people navigate those waters. So it's rewarding. It's rewarding, but it's also, it's something that's becoming more popular, becoming more mainstream. More small businesses are realizing that, hey, I need a little help here. Most people that start a small business or that start small and end up being a mid-sized business or even a large business, the owners and founders are usually really, really good at what it is they do, but they're lacking something maybe on the business side of things, right? Maybe it's the financial side and understanding what to pay attention to and how to handle that, or maybe it's HR, or maybe it's operations, or whatever. Today we were with a client over lunch, and our sole reason going here is he was considering making a purchase, and I think he wanted us to go there to, part of it is to help them say, yeah, it's a good decision, but part of it also is to potentially tell them no. We get to play the bad.
They need that outside.
We get to play bad cops
help.
A lot. A lot. We get that.
We've been referred to as the Bobs many times.
We have, the Bobs. Here's the Bobs. But that's part of it. That's part of the business. And what Dave and I do is we try to stay focused on what's the right thing to do for the business and the business ownership group and the organization as a whole. Now, we've had some tough conversations too because of our philosophy. We've fired clients before.
Like you said, they may not be the best fit or line up with
they're not willing.
What your values are.
They're just not ready. They'll tell you, yeah, we want to do this, this, and this. And when you start explaining to them what that all looks like, they're like, ooh, we don't want to do that. So it's just a little more painful than, staying the same is easier than making the change.
Sure.
And we don't like taking people's money if they're not going to listen to us. It's a waste of their time and our time.
Right.
Yeah, we've done that a few times. Yep. Just keep your money.
We're good.
Well, because it's bottom line is we got to feel good about what we're doing. And,
absolutely.
And also the outcomes we get for clients, that's our ultimate calling card, right? We got paid a great compliment last week. I'm not going to disclose the client's an out-of-state client, but they called us up. They wanted us to grow our engagement with the firm, with their company. And so we sent them a proposal that said, hey, in lieu of this, we'd like to talk about giving you guys equity stake in our business. So, and that comes from being a client a long time.
Talk about trust.
Yeah, and we've gotten great results for them.
Yep.
So we do a lot of work that way. We do fee-based, we do project-based, but we also do pay for performance. And Dave and I like pay for performance.
Yes, we do.
but and some people start pay for performance and they're like, hey, can we go back to that fee thing? So it's, it just depends on the company.
Sure.
Right. And we try to match our structure of our fees with what works for the business, right? You get, one of the things that drives us crazy is there's a lot of younger companies that need help the most right now. What do they not have a lot of? Extra money.
We hear that at the chamber too.
Well, it's true.
We're like,
right?
you need us, you need our help, we're here to help. And they're like, well, I can't afford it. Well, sometimes you can't afford not to invest in, those resources.
But that's where we do a lot of pay for performance, right? Is, young folks try to structure it. We've had people try to give us equity before and we said, no, you don't need to do that. We can do it for this and you're going to be ahead of the game. This wasn't something Dave and I wanted, but it was a hell of a compliment. Yep. And it was kind of a cool day when that happened. But pay for performance, big fans of that. Whatever fits.
So this kind of puts you on the spot a little bit, and I tend to do this during Chamber Vibes. But and if both of you have a different one, that's fine. Or if you have the same one, but what's a success story that kind of comes to mind? Is it a small business, large business? It can be either one. But let's talk about one of your success stories where you saw someone go from A to Z.
Well, there's some really big ones, but my favorite one of all is a human story.
Okay.
Chris, so a young man, he was just devastated when we started the engagement with the company. He was devastated as a salesperson. He wasn't making any money. He was just down in the dumps on himself. He was very capable, very, very able to do it, but he didn't know what to do. And over the last year and a half, he went from the dead last salesman almost out of the door in the company to being one of the top 2 salesmen in the company last year. He's got his stuff together. He's organized. He's moving forward, and he's slaying it. And every
he's
time
a team leader now.
He's a team.
Wow.
And every
That's
time
crazy.
I see him, I just smile because I'm like, dude,
I love that.
we got you where you needed to be. That is so happy.
Yeah.
And to kind of piggyback a little bit on Dave, because the day that we first met him, he told us one of the saddest things I've ever heard. He says, my wife and I talked, and if we can just figure out how to make this amount of money, and it was a very low amount of money, we can survive, we can pay all of our bills. And broke our heart.
Yeah, it was bad.
You know, and so to see his transformation's been pretty cool. Mine is probably, I got 2. I can't pick one. I got 2. One,
I'll let you.
One was with a company that, and a lot of our relationships start this way. These folks, we were managing their HR and their employee benefits and kind of helping them take care of all those things. And then he wanted a deeper engagement, wanted to go deeper and get more involved in the people side of things, whether that's their sales teams, operational teams, administrative teams. So we took that fractional COO type CEO for these people. Officially, we're the fractional CEOs for this company. It's about a $25 million a year
They've
company.
doubled in size, or more than doubled in size.
Yeah. Wow. So when we started with them, you know, I think there's always a little bit of angst because we're not cheap to be a fractional CEO. It's not, you know, it costs a couple bucks to do that because there's a lot of time involved. But within 6 months, we found a little over $500,000 of real money that was just walking out the door. So that made them pretty happy, obviously. And then we've increased that value, as Dave said, for that company, you know, drastically. I know, you know, when we first started working with them, I think they were about $8 million.
Yep.
And they're over, you know, close to 25 million now.
Wow.
And so it's, you know, those make you feel good because when you do that, when you help companies grow, what are you really doing? You're creating jobs. You're helping them create jobs for people. And these are high paying jobs. I mean, they've got, I'd say probably what, 70% or 80% of their workforce makes over 6 figures.
Oh yeah, easily.
You know, so these are really high paying jobs. The other one is probably one where we came in, they wanted us to work with the sales team. We get a lot of companies that hire us to come in and kind of be their fractional sales leaders to where we'll come in, help them establish sales processes, sales systems, sales leadership systems, do a lot of assessments, just a lot of stuff to kind of help.
Goal setting?
Yeah, we do a lot of goals, a lot of strategic planning, just a lot of stuff like that. But we actually measure helping people go from here to here. And this one company in particular in Oklahoma City, another multi-million-dollar company, they had a very senior sales team. What, they have about 10, 11 salespeople?
I think 10, yep.
10 salespeople?
Yep.
The youngest as far as years there was what, 12, 15 years?
Yeah, probably.
So a very senior
Very
group.
seasoned.
And these guys were in their
seasoned.
mid-50s. They've been selling their whole life. They knew what they were doing.
And they're all very, very successful.
Very
We're
good,
making a lot of money. And those are tough ones to come in on as the Bobs because they're already
Right.
making really good money. And
Like, who are you guys? We know what we're doing.
Yeah. And so, but they're really good professionals. We said, hey, just give us 6 months. This is what we're telling the sales team. Give us 6 months.
See what we can do.
You know, just trust us. Give us 6 months. And they did, and had an incredible impact on all their careers. Every one of them saw a significant increase in their personal income. The business went from having an offer, a very nice offer to purchase them from a large organization, to when we were done working with them for about a year and a half?
About a year, yep.
I read a year. It more than doubled what they sold for. Wow. So those are the stories that we're really proud of, you know, because it really impacts people's lives.
Well, and I can tell just from, the few years I've known you all and getting to know you better, just you all truly, and it's how I feel at the chamber too, that, you know, we become an extension of our chamber investors, and you guys very much are that. I love seeing you get passionate and excited about your clients. Like if a client comes to Chamber Coffee or whatever, you guys are out there promoting them and talking about them, and you don't have to do that.
No.
You could just be like, they're clients of ours,
Yeah.
you know, and leave it at that. But you two don't do that. You can tell like how much you care about what you do, because you are a part of all of your clients. You've become a part of them and a part of their team. And I just think that's just something from the outside looking in that I have seen from the both of you that I think is awesome and contagious.
Thank you. That's really nice.
And like I said, I can relate in a way because I feel the same way when someone joins a chamber. I'm not just like, oh, thank you for your money. And we'll put your business cards up. Like I truly want them to pour into the relationship because we're an extension of them. You know, and we love shouting them from the rooftops. You know, and you all do too.
We promote our clients so much. I got a phone call from a guy I grew up with. He said, dude, did you buy a roofing company?
I was going to say something similar, And you're
I started laughing. I said, no, they're just friends of the client.
Just
love them. But they're actually doing Dave's roof right now.
They're doing my roof.
But it was funnier than heck. Dude, did you buy a roofing company?
That's hilarious. You're like, we know you wear many hats, Phil, but.
Well, I think what we really see ourselves, because, we're involved in different industries, but one thing we really, not only do we live, but we preach this to clients of ours, because we get a lot of people that hire us as coaches also. They'll hire us as executive coaches or leadership coaches. And one thing we preach them is you can have a lot of irons. You can just have one fire.
Right.
You know, where people get in trouble is when they've got all these different fires and all these different irons and all these different fires and they're not paying attention to anything. What Dave and I have built out, the big connector is it's all for small to mid-sized businesses, right? And it's all services that touch every small to mid-sized business owner in America. They're important stuff. I mean, succession
sometimes
planning.
That's hard to say no, like you're saying, to say no and put them all in one place. Because I know even me, I can be guilty of like, oh, I'll try to do 20 different things, but am I doing 20 different things well? No. I need to put them all together and do that one thing well.
Well, the good thing for Dave and I, and you guys know this because you know us personally, but Dave and I balance each other very, very well. I mean, we have very different personalities. We have very different, I'll say, giftings that are unique to us, and neither one of us have an ego when it comes to each other. I'll say that. I mean, I have a big ego.
It's on video.
But neither one of us have an ego when it comes to professionally and trying to get the best outcome for our clients. We're very raw with each other just because we've had many of a loud conversation in front of clients in privacy of boardrooms talking about ideas where I didn't agree with what Dave said or he didn't agree with what I said, and we talk through it. And I think that's part of what I know our clients have told us that's what they like about us is we're not afraid to be
real.
It's not some just some.
Here's our package.
Yeah, here's our package. It's like, well, no, I don't see that. And now that creates a lot of apology opportunities for me to Dave. But
Dave's like,
it's a. I think you got to have that. If you're in the business of trying to give people good counsel, good advice, helping them make decisions that not only affect them personally, but it affects generations of their family. It affects all their employees and their families. I mean, that's serious stuff.
Right.
And so we're more worried about getting it right than who's right. And sometimes you got to walk the dog a little bit to find out what that is. So those are tough. And the other thing is we've made customers very unhappy because we tell them what they need to hear.
Right. And not what they thought you were going to come in and say.
We're not just going to come and tell them, oh, you guys are awesome, you're great, everything's great, oh, you're great. No, you're not going to get a lot of fluff. You're not going to get a lot of fluff out of us.
But that's good.
And so, but it's done in a professional, caring way, but we've had a lot of tough conversations over the years with clients.
But I think that's leadership. I think that's part of leadership. It's not all butterflies and rainbows.
Yeah, that's right. Unicorns aren't everywhere. That's right.
No, absolutely. So let's talk about Bebo groups. I love that concept. I've only got to experience a little piece of it, but I want to talk about that and maybe what the future of that looks like here in Guthrie. So what is Bebo?
It's bold entrepreneurs and business owners. It's groups of business owners getting together and sharing. And it really came from experience that we've both had in life. Mine was in the military. We'd have commanders' Bebo boards, basically, where you meet once a week and talk about what's going on in the organization in a raw, truthful place where you could be yourself and ask really hard questions. That's the whole intent of it. The future of Bebo is as bright as it wants to be, right? I think Phil's talked about this, and we've talked about how do we bring the business community together. And I almost think it'd be interesting. I feel I told you this, but I think it'd be interesting to have a Bebo
time here on the podcast.
Well,
now.
with the chamber,
It's that openness we were talking about.
Well, but do it with chamber members.
Yeah.
And host a monthly meeting where we come together and connect the dots and share our businesses and grow them, because Guthrie is an exceptional community. I mean,
and growing.
I have been tickled pink that we moved up here. It's been great. So
I was so worried. because I knew, man, my days of driving to Edmond are over because I was so sick and tired of it. All due respect to our friends to the south.
Very southern Guthrie.
Guthrie South.
Yes.
But I remember I told this to Dave, dude, I'm not doing this anymore. And he says, okay. He didn't care.
Wow.
He's like, yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, it's been a wonderful thing for us.
We'll talk about your Bebo group in Kansas.
But
I want to talk about the success story that you've told me about the group.
Yeah, I was talking about
group.
Chrisman and all that. Yeah.
Yep.
And then maybe that's something we can eventually have here in Guthrie.
Well, I think, listen, what Bebo was birthed out of is if you're in the business world, if you've been a business owner, you've been approached or been talked to about peer advisory groups.
Yep.
This is our take on peer advisory. What makes our deal different is we're not fluff. Dave learned about his in the military. I learned about mine by paying a bunch of money every month to belong to a competitor who I won't mention their name because I don't want to give them free publicity, or I'm getting ready to say things not very polite, so I don't want to do that either. You know, I realized sitting in a meeting, this was nothing more than I'm doing this because I want everybody to know I'm in this group, because this group has a reputation. If you're in it, that means you're doing really well.
It's
right?
a flex.
It's a flex.
Yeah. No real value coming
No
out
real
of it.
value. Well, everybody's just, everybody's lying to each other, not talking about real problems. They're just sharing surface crap. It's just a waste. Yeah, you got to get into the dirt a little bit, right? I mean, in the military, we got an old saying, it's where the metal meets the meat, right? I mean, talking about combat, it's where the metal meets the meat. And in business, you got to get where the metal meets the meat.
Right.
I mean, what is really causing you to stay up at night? What are you really worried about? You talked about Kansas in particular, a group of people up there, Now that deal ended up being, a lot of things were exposed to that deal when it was all said and done, to the point where we stopped the group. So it was still successful,
Right.
but you stopped the group. You can't. But
it went on for years where they were
there's been,
leaning on each other and growing
absolutely,
together.
Absolutely.
I think that's where I was like, I love that story.
Well, but it is. That's what Dave's talking about, coming together to support each other, grow each other, tell each other what you really think and not what, you can't be, you got to have some thick skin if you're going to be actively engaged in a Bebo.
And you got to engage.
You have to engage. Yeah. You cannot come in there with surface crap, because if a member doesn't call you out on it, we're going to.
Yep.
And so,
or not be willing to open up, because that's what it's for.
Yeah, because why are you spending the money? Now, the other thing is, most Bebos or most peer advisories, you're going to pay anywhere from $500 to $1,500 a month to be a member. We do ours for $300 a month. If you're a chamber member, you get it for $200 a month. But it's because we believe in the model. We believe that good, healthy stuff comes out of these type of conversations, right? So much about business being successful is about good communication.
Well, it's about
honest communication.
It's about connections and being willing to ask for help, right?
Yep.
Because you can't pay advisors all the time to be in your shop doing things. So if you build that core group of business owners that share common themes, you guys can learn from each other.
Absolutely.
Every day.
And that's the beauty of it, is once you start coming together and you find the ones you know, like, and trust, you develop relationships that last a lifetime.
Yep. Well, and that's exactly what I have with multiple. I have a group of chamber execs that have come together, because nobody else in Guthrie, Oklahoma is doing what Brittany Timmons does.
Nope.
And no one else in Perry or Kingfisher or to wherever, are doing that. And so it's been really important. We kind of have our own Bebo group, I guess you could say, where I can say, hey, you know what? I'm dealing with this issue, or, what ideas do you have? What's working for your chamber? And it has been the biggest blessing for me, because I have a wonderful board. I have great support, but I don't have anybody else that does exactly what I do.
Chairmanship's a little weak.
So,
right
wow.
Just a little weak.
My poor producer.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot he was here.
He's gonna hit stop on the button.
Well, Dave and I always ask CEOs or owners of businesses, who do you talk to about your problems? And the answer is nobody.
And so that's what Bebo's for.
Yeah, they just sit there and just absorb it, and what happens, you get in a deeper rut or deeper into the challenges or whatever the case may be, burnout. I mean, it's a real thing. People think that owning businesses is so glamorous, and it's just not. It's a whole lot of hard work.
Right.
Dave and I, I'd go back home when I was in the military and say, man, what's it like to do that? I said, well, it's like 23 hours and 45 minutes of boredom mixed in with 15 minutes of sheer terror. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. Just a lot of mundane, blocking and tackling, normal stuff. But when you got to make, sometimes you're going to be called to make decisions that impact other people's lives in a big way.
Right.
So that's what you got to be prepared for.
So if somebody's interested in Bebo, what are the next steps? What does that look like?
Come see us at the Chamber.
Yeah.
We'll be there tomorrow at 9:30, right? Where's Chamber?
Well, depending on when they watch the show, but yeah.
Oh, if we're not there tomorrow, that's
Wednesdays
fair.
at 9:30.
Yeah.
Yes, Wednesdays at 9:30 for Chamber Coffee.
Chamber's actually right out of town, isn't it?
It is Timber Valley Ranch.
Yeah.
A new gorgeous event venue.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we're excited to get out there for their first Chamber Coffee.
That's
so,
awesome. Let's get a hold of Dave and I. I mean, we're easy to find.
108 South Division, Suite 5.
Yeah, if you can't find us, go to the Chamber office. The girls there can track us down.
So do you have like a certain time that a Bebo group will be getting started, or you're trying to fill one, or is there already existing one? What does that look like?
Well, we had a local one here with a couple members, and over time that just kind of ended for a variety of reasons that had to do more with what was going on in their business lives, right?
Yep.
But it wasn't really really wasn't what our Bebo board should look like and do look like in other places, right? But
so if there's interest there, we need to get another one going.
We don't care if there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You don't want more. You get up around 7 or 8. You're hitting capacity.
Well, I would think too, because how long are they usually?
Yeah, you meet once a month.
Okay.
Usually for about 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay.
So
you want to give everyone ample time to be able to speak and grow and learn.
Yeah, and we pretty much do them in the mornings. Now, if a board gets together and says we'd rather do them in the afternoons, that's fine. It's their boards.
Okay.
We're there to facilitate and help guide and make sure the principles of the process are followed. But it's their board. It's not our board. So yeah, I mean, you can get with us on that. Anything that you want to talk to us about, whether it's trust services or you need life insurance or you need group health insurance for your employees or any kind of employee benefit, consulting services, you can track us down. We're easy to find, or you can go to exsin.co, exsin.co, or you can go to blackoakalliance.com, or again, just go to the Chamber. They can find us.
Yeah, they can.
Well, and I want to make a little, it's just a statement because I lived it. If you own a business and you don't have a succession plan and you don't have your family taken care of, please, please, please reach out to Phil and I. I was a 14-year-old kid. My dad died in front of me. Largest business, food beverage in the South, and my mom lost it all over 10 years because we didn't plan properly.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a kid who lived through that. I don't want your kids to go through that. So come talk to us. We truly care about you and your success.
Awesome. Well, before we close, of course, I always love to ask, and you kind of touched on it because you got Dave to move here, or move the business here. Yep. So tell me, just obviously your kids and everything went through Guthrie, but what are some of your favorite things about Guthrie? What do you love? Why do you love having your office right here downtown? What are your favorite things? Whether it's a thing we do or as a whole, you tell me.
That's simple. It's people.
100%.
It's 100% the people.
Yep.
I mean, we got some cool old buildings. But man, it's the people. I mean, I love our eclectic, dysfunctional little family we have here.
Couldn't have said it better. I don't think that's been mentioned on a podcast yet.
I absolutely love it, though.
I do too.
I love the craziness in a good way. I love the passion that people have for the community. Sometimes we argue and bicker, but at the end of the day, if the chips are really down, we're all there for one another.
Agreed.
It's the people by a mile for me, by a mile.
Okay.
This time of year, I love the people all the time. But this time of year is great because you walk down the street, you go to the bank or to the post office.
Fun.
It's fun. You see somebody that everybody's friendly. They're hi. You get to know people. I mean,
I love that.
The community here is so much fun and so nice.
It's truly a community.
It is. It's not everybody with their head down grinding and running over each other. They work together to solve problems and get things done. So
well, and we didn't grow up here. None of us grew up here, and so this
got
is
here
home.
as quick as I could.
This is home for us, and so I love hearing that because we could choose to live anywhere else, anywhere we want to live.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
This is home. And I honestly, I've said it. I've always thought that I would go back home, back to the 918. And I love being close, an hour and a half away. Yeah. I miss my family, and I wish I could be closer to them even, but I can't imagine being anywhere else.
Yeah,
this is home for me.
Yeah.
And I love it. So, well, I appreciate the two of you.
You bet.
I have loved getting to know you. Seriously, if you have any questions, like they said, no cost or obligation, just to meet with them. See how they can help. And I love that you're doing the Black Oak Alliance thing too. And
it's exciting.
Yeah, hoping you can help my family personally. And they're here. They're here for the community. They're here for the business community. They're here for you as individuals. So just give them a call, or like Phil said, reach out to the chamber and we can get you in touch with them. So thank you for taking time to hang out with me today. And
so much fun.
Look forward to seeing all the progress and how you can help grow your business and other businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Huh?
Grow Guthrie.
Grow Guthrie. That's right.
No, real quick. I got a quick question for you. I know we're going to wrap it up.
That's okay.
Second Banana Media on Wednesday nights when we do that show and we do the games. You cheat, don't you?
I do not cheat at all.
Are you sure?
Ask Corey. Ask Aubrey. Aubrey, do I cheat? No, my daughter's here, but I do not cheat.
Oh, she said yes.
I do not cheat.
Bob just said yes.
Yes, but there's a plug for Second Banana Media. Be sure to follow their page. If you hanging out on a Wednesday night, you just want some good laughs or to roll your eyes or talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Watch Phil get ridiculed.
Watch Phil eat hot stuff.
No, I'm retired. I'm retired off the hot stuff.
I almost brought you back another hot gummy.
No, not happening.
Gummy bear from Branson, but I didn't.
It's just going to sit there.
I didn't do it. Chris told me no.
Oh, yeah. Chris,
anyway,
look it out for me.
Yes, thank you. That is a good shout out. We haven't done a shout out for in a while. Yeah. To Second Banana Media for hosting. They host a variety of shows, so be sure you're following them on YouTube, Facebook, and did I get it all? I think I did.
I think so.
So, all right. Thank you guys so much. And we'll catch you next time for another episode of Chamber Vibes.
Thanks for listening to the Chamber Vibes podcast from Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful downtown Guthrie, America. Be sure and check out a new episode every other Monday. And until then, remember to choose Guthrie.